Yeah.
We're good? Ready?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Compel Reality podcast. Hello.
Welcome back for another episode. It's it actually hasn't been a while, but it feels like
feels
it's been
like a while.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while because I think, well, we've all had a lot of stuff going on,
yeah.
but that's besides the point. Today we actually have someone I'm super freaking words.
Yeah,
Words are difficult.
Stroke salad.
Someone I am super freaking excited to have on. It is actually Justin Tab from Tab Games.
Let's go.
Creator of Samurai
Welcome.
Slaughterhouse and Vehicular Rampage. Thanks for coming, man.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. Excited to be on.
So, first question. This is pretty common throughout the episodes. What got you into VR?
So when it first really initially got me into VR is I went to it was my birthday was coming up and I wanted to go to an arcade, so I was looking up arcades, and one thing that popped up was IMAX like VR arcade, which was like near where I lived, and I was like, hey, let's do that. That sounds awesome. So I went there, and I saw that they were really just like popping open games in Steam and like playing, virtual reality with like the headsets. So I was like, oh, I got a gaming PC already. Like, let me, I could be doing this at home. This is awesome. Like, I went there, I played what was it? The raw data multiplayer I played there, and then some other kind of Eagle flying game, and I played some Star Wars game, which is actually a free one you could download on Steam. I think I paid like $20 to play it. It was like when you go on Tatooine and like a lightsaber pops out of R2D2 and you fight like three people.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but just out of curiosity, what kind of headset was it? What was like the first headset you used?
I think it was like a Vive headset that they had there. I remember.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. I think Vive was HTC was kind of like on the like cutting edge of like the first like big PC VR headsets.
It was like the king at the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
For context,
around the time like when the Quest like just came out too. Like I think because when I went to go buy a VR headset, like at first I was gonna get the Rift, but it was sold out everywhere. And then Virtual Desktop had just like come out, so they're like, now you can use like the Quest like it's a Rift. So those were all sold out everywhere too. So I had to like go meet like a scalper in front of like Home Depot and pay like $100 and get like a Quest.
You can fucking back alley deals for fucking. Hey man, I got these Quest 2 on lock. Wow, how much you selling them for? 500.
Shit's jailbroken, homie. Shit, I got every game you need. I just want to provide context. Justin Tab from Tab Games, or Tab Games himself, is a solo developer for solo dev, right? You are a solo game dev.
Yeah, I'm a solo game dev. Occasionally we'll contract people, but it's pretty much all me. And I'll do contract work for other people, but at least my games are all me.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible games as well.
Yeah, they're awesome games.
Thanks.
What actually got you into like?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
What came first, VR or game dev, or were they kind of
game development came first? I've actually been doing that since like a hobby since I was like 10 years old or whatever, like 5th or 6th grade. I was downloading like RPG Maker and Click and Play, like whatever I could like figure out how to use and making games. And then
that's sick.
Later on, I kind of stopped making games for a while. I had like everything on an external hard drive, and that hard drive died, and like I was like, oh damn, I lost like everything. So I kind of stopped for a little while, and then I found out like the Doom engine was open source. So I started like playing around with that and like coding in it, and it's like super complicated to make stuff with like the old Doom engine because it's like from the 90s. Like when you want to make a new UI, you have to scale everything and count how many pixels everything is. It's ridiculous. And then a Unity tutorial popped up on Humble Bundle, so I downloaded that and went through it, and then I was like, oh my god, this is so much easier. So I started making stuff with Unity, and around then is when I got my Quest from the guy in the back alley. So I was playing the Quest, I'm like, this is really cool, like I like it, and there's just not a lot of games on it at the time. I mean, there's still like kind of a void in it. There's not every game has already been made. So I was like, this is
right.
I saw that as an opportunity. I'm like, let me make something cool. And I didn't really think much would come of it. I was like, I'm just gonna do something fun in my free time, and then posting online. Next thing I'm getting like publishers and investors and all these people hitting me up, and I'm like, oh wow, maybe I'm on to something.
Something here.
Samurai Slaughterhouse is probably one of the most funnest games I've played, honestly. Like I want to put more time into it. I just like I've been so busy with the rest of my life, I can't.
100%,
But
yeah.
it's so well done. What inspired Samurai Slaughterhouse entirely?
So it was kind of weird the way it started. I was actually making like a shooter game. It was going to be like a roguelike where basically just generated random mazes and you go through it and like, shoot people and take their guns. And I wanted to add melee weapons into it.
Huh?
Yeah,
You're like, I set out to make
weirdly.
this roguelike VR FPS and then made a hack and slash.
Yeah, it was really weird because I was like, let me add melee weapons. And the melee weapons, they played really well together and like blocking. But then, when you're a gun person versus a melee AI or like a melee weapon, you're fighting a gun person, they just did not mesh well. And around the time I was kind of just experimenting with different looks because the idea was like each level of the dungeon was gonna have like a completely different look. And when I was doing it, I kind of like happened to desaturate everything and put it in black and white. And I was like, oh, this looks really cool, like a comic book. So I had like this melee system and like this comic book look. And I was like, I want to kind of do something with this. And so my first thought was, samurais. You got melee fighting, you got comic book looks, manga and everything. So the last kind of piece of it was like the blood was all I needed, was the last thing. So I kind of went around, I found like this method for making blood like kind of render onto like other like objects. So I had everything black and white with like the bright red blood splattering and everything. And it just looked awesome. And then that was kind of the piece that brought it all together, and it kind of went from there. It was like the blood, the comic book look, and like the melee combat. Those three together just kind of
the art style was so
naturally made Samurai Slaughterhouse.
Very distinctive art style. It just shines at you as soon as you see it. It stands out really easily.
It really 100%. Stands out. Like it's completely unique. Like there's nothing like it at all, which is good. Which is a very 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 good thing for VR games as a whole, right? Because you have like the whole like Gorilla Tag clone bullshit, right? Like there were so many clones for a time, and it just got so hectic and
to the point where Meta was actually like stop sending us gorilla, like we're not even gonna look at it if we think it's a Gorilla Tag clone.
And speaking of the art direction, you've got a bit of a art background as well, innit?
Yeah, I went to college for was like graphic design, so I do that sometimes, make logos and stuff for people, and then I was a tattoo artist for a little bit. Well, I tattooed myself and random people. I didn't really make too much money out of it, but
you're a man of many trades, a man of many.
I kind of do all kinds of other stuff, and then kind of VR development. I found my niche, but what's nice about it is like I still use all my old school, my old skills from before, like in VR now. Like I can still use my art skills and like. I played music before. I was in like a band, so now I produce the music for my game. So it's just kind of fun to be able to do, whatever you want, and it still can all apply to like the same project.
That's very true. I find that a lot
less people to hire.
Well, that actually takes me to like my next question, which was kind of like so I've been noticing this trend lately in VR gaming where there's like a lot of like single devs popping up, a lot of like single like dev studios and like games and stuff where like an entire project's being made by like one person. Do you think that's like a product of the tools just becoming like easier to use and easier to learn, and so it's like a lot more feasible for like one person to just manage a project on their own?
A bit, yeah. There's definitely a lot of good tools that could do most of the things for you. So that's definitely a big part of it. Another thing to keep in mind is it's just the bigger your team is, the more expensive it is. Like if you're bringing in a few $1,000s a month, that's great for like one person. But if you have to divide that up among 5 people, like people aren't going to be able to live off that. You have to make for a team of 5 people, you have to make 5 times as much money. Which, if your game hits off well and it's on the Quest like actual official store, like you could do that, but. Definitely just starting out, you're not going to have like a ton of money to hire a whole team. So, I think it's just a little easier in a lot of ways to just work by yourself. It's hard to find people to work on stuff with too. Like it's not as easy as you think.
That actually reminds me, I want to introduce you to someone. There's another lone dev that I talked to, and I meant to introduce you guys because I felt like you two would hit it off. He's also a solo dev, and he's working on a game called and I'm forgetting the name. Something Fantastic VR or something like that. It's fucking
Huh.
wild what he's come up with. He showed me a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I felt like you guys would just freaking hit it off because like you're both basically doing the same thing. But anyway, kind of unrelated. We can talk about that after the podcast.
Nice. I was checking stuff out.
Yeah.
I had one
Yeah,
more.
I was saying.
Go ahead.
Go on.
No, go, bud. You go.
Yeah,
You
I was saying off the art direction and the music production stuff that you said that you develop your own soundtracks.
Yeah, all the
Okay.
soundtracks in Samurai Slaughterhouse and Vehicular Rampage, all the songs I produced them myself. So I either just find like samples online and mix them, or I have like a little tinny MIDI keyboard that I can bang out stuff on. So
That's
yeah,
really dope.
I enjoy it.
Sick, yeah.
Would you
Samurai
think of like
Champloo.
releasing some kind of some games you release a soundtrack separately so people can listen to that? Because I imagine that with the samurai stuff, you're probably taking a lot of inspirations from Japanese culture or other games or anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of the soundtrack from Samurai Slaughterhouse is actually inspired by Samurai Champloo, like the Nujabes and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can
he's gonna
actually-
like that. He's our resident weeb here.
Yeah, the Samurai Champloo is one of the most amazing like animes, bro. Like in mangas too. Like it's a really, really good like or anime. Like the music, the animation, it's really fucking good. And I remember when I made the video about Samurai Slaughterhouse a while back, and you mentioned that, I was like, I could definitely see that, and I'm vibing with it 110%. I love it so much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, and I
But
know
yeah,
that
the
it's on
soundtrack, you
Spotify
know.
too, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can actually get it off like Spotify and Apple Music, Amazon Music if you have Amazon Prime, so it's on all those.
Yeah.
And then, unless I forgot to upload it, I think on Itch if you buy it on there, that comes with the soundtrack. But I may have forgotten to upload it. But if I did, I'll probably upload it on there. But I also found like this website that'll press vinyls for you, so I kind of want to press a bunch of vinyls.
Ooh,
Not sure
no
if
shit.
also, but I can always give them away
I
as
thought
prizes.
vinyls
or
were like a
something.
thing of the past.
I still
like,
buy them.
Mm-mm.
Like I know people
yeah.
collect vinyls and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I
Nah,
didn't
from
realize-
in music industry, they still sell really well. Vinyls.
Wow. Okay. That's
Yeah, I
Some of
got
it-
a record
some of-
player right next to my computer. It gets used.
just black
Okay.
and white with
Yeah.
red. For
That's what I found similar to you, Tab, is that because you said that you've done a bit of art, you've done a bit of music, you tried different stuff, and then all those different talents you had led to you doing what you're doing now and complemented each other. And that's one thing I found with the stuff that I did with video editing and music production and everything. It goes into the kind of stuff I make with sound design and everything, and even Soul with his art background, designing his own avatars
Yeah.
and profile pictures and everything. So it is really satisfying when you've tried all these different avenues, they might have not worked out, but then you find something that actually sticks and the skills that you learned before really complement what you're doing now. So it must be quite satisfying for you just seeing like all your passions coming together into one amazing thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great. I mean, before I was working at like an insurance company for like 13 years, and then I finally
Wow,
quit to just be
corporate
doing
grind,
this.
huh?
So it's just great to like
Yeah.
be doing stuff I find interesting. I still have to do
Yeah.
do a little work for other people now and then, do some contract work, but it
Sure.
it's all game development, art related, so it's pretty
Yeah.
cool stuff. Like it's nice.
And I mean, the benefit of like
Yeah.
being a contractor is you're not necessarily working like for somebody necessarily. You're more like working with them in a way.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
like they're your client or whatever, right? So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we want these such and such things done, so I'm just kind of bouncing back and
So
forth.
you're definitely a boss man kind of guy. Like you definitely prefer being like your own boss, sort of like making your own schedule, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Like,
Yeah, there's nothing like it. There's really nothing like it in the world. It's like on the
Preach.
one hand, it's nice to have like the the set schedule or whatever, and like be able to take days off whenever you want. Like for the most part, if I'm like I can go on a vacation, but then like there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons.
I mean, having the steady paycheck, always knowing no matter
Sure.
what happens, you're gonna get, every 2
Right.
weeks there's gonna be more money in your account. That's always
Right.
nice to know too. But
Yeah.
so it's worth that a little bit of
Have
extra
there been any,
anxiety.
like, major publishers reaching out to you? Like, I don't know if you have a publisher yet or anything. Like, I know you're.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to pretty much everyone you can think of. So,
Okay.
you'd be surprised. Like the ones that you would think of as like major, like the big ones,
Yeah.
the ones that you've heard of. They don't really have the best deals. Like those are the
isn't
ones
that
that
surprising.
some of the earlier ones I heard of and some of the first ones I turned down. But yeah, some of the smaller ones, especially ones that where they were developers themselves, and then they kind of put out a few successful
Evolved.
games, and they're like, hey, let's start publishing. Like
Sure.
those are the ones that usually give you the best deal. Which those are ones. I'm actually talking to one right now. They're in Sweden. And in Sweden, they take the entire summer off, so they've been gone for like months, and they're just now
Jeez.
getting back. So everything has been on pause. That with
Can
that.
you say who it is?
I don't remember if I can say who it is. It'll get announced
It's okay.
eventually.
I'm pretty sure I already know who it is. You said Sweden. There's
No.
not many VR developers in Sweden, so
You'd be
pretty sure I already know who it is.
There's a lot of
It's
companies
funny,
in
'cause-
Sweden. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, they say no deal's better than a bad deal, right? So that's good that you've been patient with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice because I've been having it on an early access sale on itch. So like with those sales, I've actually been able to mostly pay my bills. So it's just nice not to be like desperate for money, where it's like, if I don't get this funding deal, I'm
Right.
gonna lose my house or anything. It's like it's nice to be able to negotiate at your own leisure.
For sure.
At least you're living
be able to-
comfortably with it. Like
Set-
at
set
least you're
your
not
own
having
terms.
to. At least you're not having to like paycheck to paycheck. That's the good part right there. Just-
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I took a
Yeah.
bit out of my 401k, but luckily I could kind of able to replenish it with
Yeah.
contract work and stuff. So
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So you wanted to ask something earlier, if you remember?
Well, that was primarily it. Like that, and I actually had a question about Vehicular Rampage. That's what it is called, right? Yeah. Am I
yeah,
lagging
making the
there? Okay.
Rampage. Yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired that one? Like, because I remember like when I first became a patron, it looked like it was more of a side project compared to Samurai Slaughterhouse. So
So that is, and it's still kind of a side project, but basically, I mean, as far as like the actual inspiration for it, is definitely Carmageddon, that old like PC game. And anyone play Carmageddon and play this, just like, yeah, you just basically copied their whole thing. But once you get into it, there's little differences. But essentially, like it started because one day I felt like driving around in VR in like a city. And I was looking on Steam and I was like, there's some driving games, but none of them are open world. They're kind of all track racing. And I just want to, drive around a city like easy, at my ease. So I just kind of like dragged the car controller in, grabbed a city generating asset, threw it all in there, and kind of tweaked it, gave it VR controls, and so I could play it. And I posted a video online, and people were like, "Hey, you should add pedestrians." So I'm like, "Hey, why not?" So I threw in like just an asset store, like generic AI person, and just put a trigger on him so he ragdolls and the car hits them, and it was pretty fun. But it wasn't it wasn't Carmageddon. So then I kind of just
taxi. 10
Yeah,
points. Old lady, 100 points. Kid, 10 points.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Death Race 2000, like that old movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
points
yeah.
for running over that old lady.
Yeah, just fucking mowing people down in VR.
Sounds like my kind of game. Sounds like his kind of game, actually.
100%.
He just fucking
I would
slaying everybody.
100%. Yeah. Like I could just imagine Tab like driving home from work one day as an insurance agent. And that's actually what inspired it. He was just like, just had like a shit day. He got like his ass reamed by the boss, and he just saw like some pedestrian walking across the street, and he's just like,
I thought the intro story was going to go
We need to
different.
simulate this.
Yeah, like one day I was driving my car, hit this old lady, and I thought I'd love to do that again in VR. So I just quit the whole game.
Man,
You can explain away one like pedestrian hitting, but you can't explain away like multiple. So
that little motherfucker on the street, on the sidewalk, that's the little kid that threw ice cream at me as a kid. I'm gonna fucking run him over.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for the
"Officer,
kid
I
DLC.
accidentally ran them over 47 times." Okay. I don't know
When the
why, they
children
just
and the
kept
old lady
jumping in front of
expansion
my
comes
car.
out, that'll be hard. That'll be so good.
Sorry, what was that?
Said when the children and the old lady expansion comes out, that'll be really
Oh
good.
yes, yeah. That'll be the preem content right
so
there.
you like the walker and everything.
Yeah. Maybe
Everything.
get some puppies. They're walking some puppies or something.
Yeah, extra points for puppies.
Electric
Nah, I can't do
wheelchair.
puppies. I've never killed a puppy in a game ever, bro. I can't do it.
Neither have I. I still
I
can't do
can't
it.
do it.
Yeah.
We should put them in there, but they're like they're like solid. So you try to hit them, your car just like flips over them.
It's like the no
the
Russian.
old lady
mission
just made
Call
out
of
of
Duty.
fucking iron. Yeah.
It's like no Russian where you go to kill the baby. It just asks what's wrong with you.
Yeah. No, that's in Modern Warfare 2019. You shoot it like 3 times, and it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you should make every pedestrian killable, and
Yeah.
then when you get over there, just metal. Just like man of steel, just breaks the car.
Yeah,
But yeah, go on,
that's
Grabs.
the way to do it. No, that's
What were you
pretty
gonna
good. Yeah.
So with Samurai Slaughterhouse, you have quite a few different types of characters in there. You got like a little green Pokemon looking motherfucker, and you got some like cat ladies and shit. Like what inspired all that? Like putting those kind of characters into this game. I know like the game is like mainly like fighting samurais and ninjas and shit. But like, what inspired that and the dragon? Like, the dragon part's sick as fuck. But like, what inspired to putting those into the game?
It's pretty anime. So it's a couple of things. It's
Right.
first of all, it's pretty
Manga-esque.
anime inspired. I really like animes
Yeah.
that are like kind of just weird and out there. Like there's just one called like Doro Hidoro.
Yeah.
And like it kind of just starts out, just like, you're like, what the hell is going
you two
on?
are
You
gonna be thick
figure
as
out
thieves.
like a little at a time, like what's going on. But like, there's just random shit in there, like no explanation. There's like vegetable people and lizard head guy, and
Right.
everything just nuts. And I'm like, you know what? If animes can get away with it, and my game's based on anime, then I can get away with, you know, just taking assets from all over the place because I can't afford custom ones and kind of just squeezing them in there. So that was the other part. First, anime inspired, and then two, it's just, you know, it's expensive to get custom assets made. So I got to just browse asset stores and like model dial catalogs and stuff and be like, hey, you know, this almost looks like it could be in an anime. Like, let me just add some toon shaders, like redo these textures, make it a little more anime-ish, and then, you know, make it fit. So it just being kind of loose and open-minded with it makes it easier to find things to put in the game. That's also why there's so many female characters in the game. People love making anime girls and posting them online and selling them, but
they want their
I
anime
guess making
waifu.
dudes isn't as fun because there's just not as many. It's
Yeah,
hard
bro,
to
just
find
seems
male
like,
models.
I've noticed that it just seems in the VR industry, just bare guys just love dressing up as anime girls in VR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they
Like
have shit that
everywhere,
they
too,
They
like-
have shit that they don't have in real life. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
baby?
Okay, look. All things considered, jiggle physics are a thing. Okay. Jiggle
I think it's too on the artist end too. It's just more fun to make. I mean, I knew when I used to like to draw a lot and sketch a lot, it was more fun drawing like girl characters than like guy characters. So like, I think
Yeah,
just from
I
artists,
found
it's
that when I
just better
first got
for
into
to
drawing,
make.
I found that I liked drawing females at first, and then naturally I was just like, you know, I can just do cooler stuff with guys sometimes.
I
I
just like drawing like fantasy shit. Like, I mean, you see my artwork. Like, I just draw shit that's just like not even real at all, or like very grim. Like, I have like shit with like Seven Deadly Sins stuff. I have one that's just slime. It just looks like a slime ball. And then I have one that like gluttony is just like 6 tongues or whatever fucking coming out of this dude's belly and shit.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Nice.
It's just,
I mean, talking
that's
about
what I
I
like.
drawing like grotesque, like weird stuff.
that's what I
really
like.
Ed Roth, like rat fiend type
Yeah,
stuff. So like
dude.
drawing people with their
even on the
tongues all
anatomy,
eyeballs popping out and tongues hanging out and everything.
even on the anatomy side of things, I always found girls were just harder to just get right compared to guys. It was a longer learning curve for me to be able to draw a female.
Because you're a dude. You don't know the
other way around.
curves.
I kind of was just easier.
like the
to
hips
draw
and all
girls
that
'cause you just
shit.
have
It just look
more reference points on like the women. Like,
Oh yeah, true. Because you can do like the triangle for like a chest or whatever from like the collarbone connection, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then to the nips, and then to the back center to the chest. Yeah.
There's just more like space with less detail, so it's just
Yeah.
you know harder to fill in that big empty space.
I know. I be drawing them titties like they're they have some old lady titties. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
And both point towards the floor.
just drooping all the way to this fucking ground.
You should definitely do an enemy like that, which has got really saggy boobs.
Just like a mini
Like
boss,
dragging
just
on
like
the floor
an old lady,
type
yeah,
thing.
with like tits dragging on the
and you can
ground,
like ping one of her tits on the floor with a sword. and then
bro.
finish
You know
her off.
what needs to happen? You know what needs to happen? Those tits can be used as like nunchucks. You know, just
Yeah, exactly, bro. This man just getting cursed as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
cursed DLC inbound.
Can you imagine this? Can you imagine this concept art for that?
You're laughing, but it actually wouldn't be that hard to rig if you ever, because they put like bones in they're called bones in the boobs, and there's like usually a tip one too, and you can grab that and take it wherever you want. Like,
oh my god, so
use it
you
as
already got it
swords.
down. You already know what to do.
He's just there like, yeah, I've already done it. Yeah.
He's like, trust me, I've already experimented with this.
I wouldn't doubt if someone made a pornographic game like that already for VR because there's so many.
They're all over Steam, bro.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's
like
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't doubt that someone would have used that concept for a game.
Oh yeah. I mean, what's that one? The anime waifu game that came out. It was like one of the first VR games that ever came out.
VR Kanojo
with the schoolgirl. Or some shit
with the schoolgirl. That
Kanojo,
like,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Kanojo.
Like it's like literally one of the first things people did with consumer VR. They're like, well, we have VR. What's the first thing we can do? Jerk off in VR.
Pretty much. That's pretty accurate, man.
That's basically how like film started.
Wait,
Justin, what's your biggest, let's say, like movie inspiration for summer? You talked anime.
Yeah,
Excellent
anime, bro.
movies.
Let's go. I'm all for
I
the
fucking
anime.
love Shadow. Shadow's one.
Yeah, so from anime, it would be definitely Samurai Champloo, but from the movie side, it would probably be probably Kill Bill's like probably the biggest inspiration. Like,
Oh,
those-
nice.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Definitely see that Tarantino with them blood effects.
Yeah.
What was the other movie?
just like the over the topness of it too. Like,
Yeah,
the black and
it's-
white animation style with only the red blood. What movie was that? It had like
Sin
Bruce
City.
Willis. Sin City.
Sin City,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like for some reason when we were talking about it earlier, it came up and I thought about it. And I was like, I can't remember the name, so I didn't want to.
I love
Yeah,
Sin City.
I think Justin didn't
movie
even.
is so
I
great.
I think you. I think last we talked, you said you didn't really know about Sin City like that when you made the game. It was more just you just messing about and be like, "Oh, this looks cool."
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, I do love Sin City, and I did even before I made the game. But yeah, it was just kind of. It wasn't like, oh, I like Sin City, I want to copy their style. I was just kind of just messing around and kind of stumble. I'm like, hey, this looks cool. Like, let's roll in this direction.
It does look very cool. I've always wondered if mangas would ever go the color route, or at least like make some stuff colored, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Are there no?
Sometimes I haven't really seen it done too much unless they make the manga like from an anime where they take like screenshots from
Right.
It doesn't never come out that great.
Yeah, do they not have like I don't really
Colored mangas?
They don't really have colored manga. No.
Oh, okay.
Do they?
Or manga.
Yeah, closest ones like I see where they just like screenshots from an anime.
Yeah,
but-
they do, but it's like they're very few. Like for manga, it's not as common as it would be for something like a manhwa. Manhwa is Korean manga, basically manga. My bad. But because I mean, I read a lot of like manga and manhwas and dojins. You probably wouldn't.
Wouldn't
know
it be
what those are.
pronounced manga?
I don't even know what that
Isn't it
is.
manga? I don't know what that
It's
means,
manga.
bro.
It's if you know, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's just soul shit. You know what I'm saying? Bro?
It's adult manga. I
Yeah,
see.
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's dojin.
I didn't know that either. I figured just for the way you said his reaction afterwards. He was like, oh, I say that out loud.
I only know about it because of my youth, because people in my middle school would be like, all right, hey, you like anime? Look at this. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'll open it. I'm like, oh my God, it's titties and dicks. What the fuck?
Dicks in there too?
Yeah, they draw motherfuckers detailed like a motherfucker, dude.
I mean,
Yeah.
God damn. I mean, this episode is definitely getting age
way.
blocked.
Yeah, there's no shot it ain't at this point.
It's not like we're linking it or showing it unless you purposely do it on the fucking post. Like, come on. There's
I
no
would
shot.
never do that.
Do it. Do
He
it.
said do it.
Do it.
Cry me, YouTube. You know nothing in my power.
Bro, you're gonna be mad at me, but I forgot to set up my stream camera for like the first 20 minutes of this.
I noticed when you got up and just
Dude,
looked like you were popping a squat as you were walking.
I am fucking lagging.
Yeah. Well, I think we've all been there for the past 2 weeks, so
Yeah,
I'm not exactly judging.
just a
Justin,
quick
what-
one shot where you can't see our mouths clearly, so it'll like look like we're talking.
This guy literally triple checked before the episode. He's like, yeah,
I got everything.
Good,
Oh my
Yep,
God, what
yep,
is going on with my body? What is going on with my body? Holy
Yeah,
fuck!
what is going on with your body?
What the fuck? What?
I don't know, bro.
Hey yo,
Maybe you're
what the
good enough.
fuck going on?
I ain't know
Hey
you gonna
yo.
move like that.
Tracking
Hey.
okay?
You got IG.
It's got
By the
full
way,
battery,
moving
bitch.
that, you know?
Just gonna add a bunch of bone breaking sound effects in here.
I will hold you to that. I will hold
Justin,
you to that.
do you play any games, or you literally just like head down dev? Or you like taking some time?
Yeah, I play some games. Most of the games I play are like old, but yeah, I do play games.
What kind of
Why
games you
not?
playing right now?
Um,
You got games on your phone?
started playing Phantasmagoria, which is this old like FMV horror game. Which is like live action in it. I've been playing VR wise though. I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber. I started playing that Dragon Fist Kung Fu game.
Yeah,
That was pretty good. I'm like, what
Dragon
the-
Fist.
That's a good
Yeah, I
fucking
need to
game.
try. I'm waiting till I get my FTB.
Yeah, the
so
full
I do
body on
Dragon.
that shit is nuts.
Oh, I know. I'm like so upset that I can't like actually like kick in it. I'm like, I need to
Well,
get
I've
some
done
practice.
it, and I just been kicking the shit out of my fucking stool and my door, my all my equipment, and I'm just like, fuck my foot.
Yeah, we were actually talking about.
Wife leaves to
we're
work and go
talking
in the
about
garage and
VR.
play.
Yeah, we were actually talking about VR safety gear. Like if they had like VR gloves or knee pads or just something. Because no matter how small my guardian is, something is getting hit.
Yeah.
Whether it be my nan or
My
was
dad, my
gonna
dog.
the dog, the cat.
Punt the
Someone
cat across
outside.
the window.
The VR will find a way to make
Yeah.
contact with something.
It only
else.
took my dog one time of accidentally getting punched in the head to learn
To
And-
fuck
and I've-
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I've been super careful about it ever since then. Like,
yeah.
as well.
Same with my
My
cat.
dog's super lazy. She just sits on the bed all day, like
Oh my god.
like a Shiba Inu. So
That's
like,
the life.
Oh man, that is the life.
So, are you a big like anime nerd, or because obviously you have inspirations from it?
He's
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
if you're
no,
as weeby as he is.
No, I'm not that into it, but I am pretty into anime. Yeah, I'm a pretty big anime nerd. I'm like a 70 to 80% anime nerd. I was saying I'm like,
Yeah, I
level
mean, I'm
10.
pretty much the same way. I mean, I watch a lot of anime and shit, so like clearly, I watch a lot of anime. But yeah, just I thought I'd ask that because I mean,
I'm
obviously,
super into Japanese cyberpunk. I don't know if you ever watched that, but if you like anime,
Ooh, wait,
you would like
what?
Japanese cyberpunk.
Hey,
I will
yo.
watch
Is it-
that
Yo,
now.
talk to me. Talk to me.
Hey,
Talk
yo.
to me.
Have you ever
Yeah,
seen,
yeah,
like-
yeah. You gotta elaborate more on that, homie.
Talk to me.
If you've
Right
ever
now,
watched
Justin.
anime-inspired movies and you're like, this is not really like an anime, like live. You know how they make live-action anime movies and they suck,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, I wish this was actually like an anime. Like Japanese cyberpunk is actually like anime, but it's live action. It's just not based on any specific one, but it's pretty crazy.
Live
Like,
action and anime doesn't sound good to me. What is
yeah,
that?
no, but Japanese cyberpunk, they're not like bound by bound by trying to follow a specific anime, so they
Mhm.
kind of like flow with it and just like
Yeah.
a lot of the visuals in it like really like kind of parallel like the
literally
craziness of
just
anime.
Have you
called
seen Edge Runners?
Cyberpunk?
Well, there's different movies. There's like Tetsuo. There's Tetsuo 1, 2, and 3. There's Tokyo Gore Police is another good one.
Okay.
There's a good. I can send you some lists, but it's pretty
I
crazy
have to
because
look
like in
into this.
American
I fucking have
cyberpunk,
to.
they like put little devices in themselves and stuff. Like that's cool. But in Japanese cyberpunk, like the devices like come from inside them, and there's like freaking guns like ripping out of their arms, tearing their flesh apart, so they could shoot people with their crazy gun hands.
yo.
And, like
Yeah.
it's nuts.
I'm writing on
Yeah.
my whiteboard Japanese cyberpunk right now.
Is it?
What
You
did
said it's
ask?
live
You asked-
action.
yeah, they're all live action, but they all have like a really like anime style like feel to them. Most of them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Not
That's
there's
fascinating.
yeah, there's not very many like good like live action anime type movies or actual live action anime movies. We won't mention Dragon Ball Evolution or Avatar: Last
Yo, that
Airbender.
movie is amazing.
I think
Fuck you.
live action anime shows have been better, at least for me. Like the Death Note one, I thought was pretty good. The live action, not the one on Netflix, but the Japanese show.
Oh
they had a live
yeah, I need to
action Death
watch
Note,
that.
which one was
I mean, I've
good.
been wanting to watch that.
Which one?
Yeah, it's really good. And they have a live action Way of the House Husband, Goku Fushuda. I don't know if you've seen that
yeah.
anime. I read the manga, but
I read the
the
manga.
live action show is really good too. Like I quite
The
enjoyed
Death
it.
Note movie, I thought, was actually one of the better live action anime.
The
Ew.
Japanese one or the American one?
The American one.
You.
I thought it was
Die.
terrible.
Die.
out of it.
Actually die.
I'm out of it.
Anyone who likes Death Note, fucking kill him right now. Find him in Elden Ring.
Episode
Kill him.
over.
Whatever. I've watched Death Note too, and I thought it was pretty faithful to the first season.
I don't know. I haven't actually seen it. I'm just biased.
Maybe the first season. I don't know. The first. Sometimes they do that. They'll copy like the first episode, and
Yeah,
after that
they'll
just goes
do
off
like
the
a little
rails.
bit.
Like,
And then just, no.
Yeah.
Like Cowboy Bebop, no shot. Nope. Cowboy Bebop got fucked.
Oh,
I
you
haven't
see
seen
that?
that
You
one.
see the
I
line they
haven't
did
heard
with
good things.
Jax? What's the black guy's name again? Is it Jax in the Cowboy Bebop?
God, I can't remember. It's been so long
I
since
didn't
I
even
watched
realize he
Cowboy
was
Bebop.
black when I watched the anime.
It's like
Yeah.
Jay something.
No,
Justy, do you know the black guy's character in Cowboy
Yeah,
Bebop?
no, it's been a long time since I watched Cowboy Bebop. I watched it on Adult
Fuck,
Swim.
but anyway, like, yes, someone was like, this white woman was interrogating, and she goes, "You know what?" He goes, "Oh, you trying to blackmail me?" She goes, "I guess you could say that because you are black and you are male." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm never watching this."
That's the worst line I've ever heard. Like, I've heard some pretty
That's a
That's a lie, bro.
God, dude, that is the most fucking cringe shit I've ever heard.
like that would be cringy on a web show. Like, how did that make it onto? How did someone not edit that and be like, "No, we should take that part out"? Like,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I left the internet for a year after that. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Holy
It was definitely not cash money. Same thing for Avatar Last Airbender. No fucking way. There's so many bad live action fucking anime movies. And shows. It's nuts. Only the Japanese one, like the Japanese live action ones, do it justice. Americans just fuck it all.
have you seen the Japanese Attack on Titan live action?
I have not.
The action sequences are good, but the story is stupid. They changed it in really weird ways, but the actual parts where they're fighting titans is just really cool because it actually looks like the anime. But I would watch it just for the action sequences.
I definitely want to
YouTube.
watch it.
Have you watched Edge
You're
Runners yet?
excited for Justin?
Wait, have I watched what?
Edge Runners on Netflix.
Edge Runners? No. What is that?
Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Cyberpunk anime, basically.
Oh, is it? No, I haven't watched that yet.
Me either.
Dude,
Let me check it out though.
it is fucking amazing. I cannot.
Yeah, really good.
I can literally talk about it. Like, I love
No spoilers.
Edge Runners. I'm not gonna do any spoilers, but like, holy shit,
that's
bro!
really
It
good.
is without a doubt the best show.
Do I have
ever.
to play the game to like get the anime, or can I watch? Does it stand on its own?
It's on its own.
Nah,
I
it
think.
stands on it.
Okay, because I haven't played Cyberpunk.
It's
yet.
got-
If you're-
got
So
some
it
cool
stands
maps,
on its
but,
own
you know.
really well, but if you're already a fan of the Cyberpunk universe, they do a lot of like nods to like the Cyberpunk universe. They use a bunch of like OG characters like Adam Smasher and Rogue and a bunch of other people. They have like a bunch of the same like sound effects and audio engineering from the game.
Oh, nice.
So it stands on its own really well. And if you're already a Cyberpunk fan and played the
extra
game, you'll
for you.
appreciate a ton of the shit that they packed in there. Yeah. for
There's
sure.
characters from the
Nice.
show from the game in the show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
With like the same voice actors
Yeah.
and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, you watch in English.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely watch it in English. Definitely watch it in English.
Yeah.
He's like a normal person.
Mm.
do
No, just
subtitles
because
like
it's
a
just
normal
it's,
person.
like, it's got the original voice actors and stuff, and obviously everyone Cyberpunk the Night City is about culture, right? You got all these different cultures, so you got your Spanish characters, you got your Japanese characters, and they even speak Japanese sometimes. I mean, the main character is called David Martinez, so yeah, English is definitely meant for that show.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, is there any headsets you've got your eyes on right now?
To be honest, they all kind of get like sent to me anyways. But
Oh, it's so terrible being a dev because people just send me free stuff.
I actually, it's
You guys got a buy 'em?
actually, to be honest,
It's gonna be me.
between all like the haptic stuff and like,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
What
But
which one are you looking forward to the most? Like to actually like trying or diving in more. PSVR
Uh,
2, Pico.
probably the what's the new one? The Quest Pro, is that what they're calling it? That one looks
Quest
pretty cool
Pro.
because I think that's the one that's going to be coming out the soonest.
Yeah.
'Cause at least from talking to Pico, when I talked to them, they said the 4 is not going to be out for a while, so they're having me port it to the 3 for right now.
Yeah.
Said
But they'll
shipping
probably
8th
send me a 4.
of October though.
What?
They said they were
What?
shipping on the 18th of October to Pico.
Oh, okay. This year, the Pico 4.
The pe-
Someone else that they highly doubt that, but I mean, that's what it says on their website.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe at least when I talked to them not too long ago, they didn't sound like they were that ready
I heard it was
to.
quarter four, sorry, 2023 for sure. That's what I heard.
Interesting.
For the Pico
Yeah, I
4.
mean, they didn't tell me like a date. I don't think they even knew, but they were saying like they saw it being like next year, so they were like, we're gonna send you the Pico 3 because the Pico 4 is not gonna be ready for a while.
I will say this: I can't say who my source is, and I will just say it's only rumors. But finger tracking on Pico, Pico's doing something with finger tracking, and it's coming out next year. That's all I know.
Nice.
That'd be really good.
Like full hand finger tracking, like Valve Index style, but for standalone, basically.
Have you heard of the one called the Kiyu? Oh no, Chiyu.
No,
It's my company called Chiyi.
No.
No, so that's another like Chinese one, but their Chiyi is basically like the Netflix of China. Like it's
Okay,
like a giant like streaming service.
Okay.
Sure.
And yeah, so where's I going with that? Oh yeah, so they're
ADD be like.
But, they have one called the Chiyi 3, which is really cool because it actually has a 4K like display in each eye.
What the fuck, for real?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It basically is the same processor as the Quest 2, so I wouldn't expect to be playing games at like that higher resolution.
Yeah,
but they have like a really cool like built-in movie theater, because they're like the Netflix of China. And you can watch like 3D movies in 4K on it, and it's freaking awesome, dude. Like,
that's sick.
It looks beautiful.
Amazing.
Like the names are in Chinese, like, but they have like translations. So I was able to watch like Titanic on there, like in 3D, like.
Yeah,
and it was in English too. It wasn't in Chinese. So it was cool.
Planet Earth too. You guys seen Planet Earth?
No, I don't think so.
Like the documentary?
Is that not popular? Yeah, maybe it's not popular in the US. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, nice.
It's
Yeah, so
like
we have it's like a nature documentary. We have like in the UK, we have a very popular narrator called David Attenborough, and he has documentaries.
Yeah.
Like where
you probably watched him. You just didn't
nature.
realize you watched him. He's on like everything.
Yeah, and it's so sick. Bro. It's like literally one of my favorite shows. So something like that in VR would be dope. Because I know they have like an underwater VR experience that he's done as well in nature, and it just looks sick. Like,
actually, I think I know what you're
4K,
talking about. I think I've seen bits and pieces of that.
Yeah, they just kind of show different
super slow
like
motion
animals and plants on the earth that are like really interesting.
Yeah,
like, in different places. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's dope as fuck.
And,
Have you got any plans for games after Samurai? Looking at far ahead, or is it just head down on this? But sometimes I find that maybe if you're working on one project, you start getting inspiration for other stuff as well.
Yeah, what's like the main?
So I do have a couple plans. So Vehicular Rampage, that I already kind of launched it, but I do want to add like a few more levels to it. I actually have like a Las Vegas themed level I'm working on.
Hell yeah.
For that, but I got so much stuff going on with Samurai Slaughterhouse that kind of put on pause.
Sure.
I want to make a horror game too. I started messing around with a few things a little bit. Like basically the plan for it is going to be called like the Haunted APK. And it has like a home screen that looks like a really creepy, scary version of the Quest Home. And it's going to have different little games that you could play on it. And like each one is like a little like 5 to 10 minute like horror game.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's sick,
let me know when you got the horror game out. If you make it, because I love horror games. So.
He fucking loves horror
Yeah, let me send you what I got, because I already made the first little mini game for it, which is like a horror skiing game.
Dude, you just made this whole man's week. You just made this whole man's week right here. Like,
I fucking love horror games, bro.
It's crazy because Soul's a lot more versed in, just in VR in general than me, but especially VR horror games. And I played a lot of horror games with flat screen. I love them, like Dead Space, Resident Evil games, all of those ones. And then I had my first horror experience. Devour doesn't really count. It was not really that scary. It's in Phasmophobia, but I had my first, I'll say, true horror experience with a fairly new game. Was it Soul? Was it Paradox of Hope?
Paradox of Hope.
Paradox of Hope. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a Metro style game.
Yeah.
And dude, that was my first legit jump scare in VR, and I literally almost broke my fucking TV. I popped out the door. I was backing up IRL. I tripped over, in real life, felt my gun. I lost my gun, fell into my TV. My TV was smashed into the wall. I was like, bruh. And I fell in love with it. Actually, I was like, I need to play a lot more of this. That's a real experience.
Yeah.
I think the one game that would be very hard for me to play in VR, and that's why exactly what I have to try is Alien Isolation, because that's probably
It's
the scariest thing I've
fucked. It is so
played.
fucked.
Fucking tense.
I did a
Very
video on
well.
it a while back when I was doing like videos related to mods, and that shit fucked me up. Cause like there was one part where I was like, I could basically see this motherfucker like 10 feet, not even 10 feet away from me, the fucking alien, and I'm fucking playing Ring Around the Rosie across this generator, and it's fucking going past me, and I go through. I'm like, okay, good. I'm set. I'm good. I could just book it to the fucking to the vent or whatever, and then I hit. So if you hit the tail. If you sideswipe that tail, that motherfucker turns around and just jumps the shit on you. I fucking freaked out, dude. I was not having a good time.
Yeah, because bro, can you imagine even in flat screen, the death animation really creepy. Like he looks so present. He's in your face. I was like, bro, if that's in VR, nah. Like,
That's gonna be a no for me, dog. Regardless, man. Like flat screen is fine. VR, no. Whole other
it got to the point in that game where I just started screaming at him the minute he caught me. Like, fuck you, bitch! Fuck you! Suck my ass! It's like, fuck you, alien motherfucker! Fuck you! Suck my ass! Oh, you son of a bitch! I love VR horror. I just love VR horror. It's fucking weird. I want to be scared. I want to be scared. It's just a good, a different feeling that I don't really feel anymore because I don't get scared. So like, I've watched horror games throughout my entire life. Horror games, horror movies, my entire life, and I don't even get phased anymore. Like Phasmophobia, I don't get scared in that game anymore at all. I don't even never really did. In the beginning, I did, especially if you do it by yourself. But like after that, it's just like it's nothing. And then, fuck you. You're just a pussy.
I think horror movies I'm pretty solid with. Horror games, flat screen, it depends. But VR is the newest. Take a while
because you're actually in there. You have presence, and it just fucks. It's awesome.
Especially when
it fucks. Well said, my friend.
Bro, like with fucking happens as well in horror games. Like fuck that.
Oh yeah. Like with Paradox of Hope, my last stream I did for Paradox of Hope, I got scared so many fucking times. I liked it. Like I fucking, what am I, goddamn masochist? But whatever.
I can't wait. Man, I can't wait to jump back in.
I want that game to have co-op raids, bro. Like he's another solo dev. I don't know if you know that, Tab, but I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Yeah, but it is so fucking awesome. Metro 2033 meets Into the Radius with Walking Dead Saints and Sinners backpack shit.
Nice.
I fucking love it. I love it. I want to keep hopping back into it every time I can.
It's like more horror oriented.
It's like survival horror, yeah.
Yeah, than 2033 because that was more like action horror.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like shooter horror.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I would call that horror because I didn't think it was really scary at all.
I think if you're but what you're fighting, like, it's not really that scary. If you're just shredding through the zombies, they're not really scary.
Yeah.
Metro had a lot of character. It had this. Everything just felt off.
The atmosphere.
Everything felt assassinated. Yeah. And the graphics were just so good that it's almost like you're watching.
You're tense. You're
like
tense.
You're very tense. Yeah. I remember when the demos came out of that game, I was like, holy shit, this is a game. This looks fucking amazing, like graphics wise. Like the latest one they released, I forgot the name. I think it's like Last Light or some shit like that. I don't remember. Yeah, the graphics on that were incredible, and I like Paradox of Hope does feel like a stalker type game. I mean, Into the Radius essentially is a stalker.
Yeah, well, the character's even called a stalker in Paradox of Hope.
Is it?
Yeah, you are a stalker. You just find shit. You do raids, do missions, return back to base, drop off your stuff that you did. It's pretty much Metro 2033 VR. And he actually plans to have outside maps. I've seen I'm in their Discord. He actually has plans maps outside of the Metro, which I'm fucking all for. I think it's just solid as a whole. It actually makes me want to go back to the flat screen Metro 2033 because it's so fucking good.
Yeah, I think open VR games we don't have a lot of. That's something that Justin's excelling at, especially with the Samurai,
Yeah,
Slaughterhouse, and
100%.
Rampage. They probably take a lot more time, right, to develop. The open world. I think it depends,
like
right? 'Cause sometimes you can have a very linear experience that's like very, very hyper focused on certain experiences, but I don't know. What's your experience like with that?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends because how filled in you want it to be, really. Because I mean, you could throw a giant map in and kind of just throw a bunch of mountains and stuff, but as far as filling within with details, that's what like would take time. Um,
Mm.
I don't know. It's challenging for both. The thing with like linear too is like sometimes you have to kind of set up like these sequences where it's like, you know, this person goes over here and does this and talks to that, and that could be really time consuming. So I think
Yeah.
it could really go either way.
How
Depending on how
long
you want to do
were-
it. But if you do want to put like a story in, then yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot longer to do with an open world than a
Yeah.
small linear thing.
Yeah. How long, like, total number of years have you been working on like Samurai Slaughterhouse, like start to finish so far? And I mean,
So right now
obviously,
it's about 2 years, including like the time I spent on like the original like low poly prototype.
okay.
And it's about like another year out from being done. So
Wow. Yeah, it's
Sick.
definitely something that takes a long time. It takes a lot of people. A lot of people don't realize that. Like like, and I've said this before, but like a lot of people, like when they go into like the VR space and they're like, oh, I want to be a game dev. Oh, I want to be a content creator. But they actually don't. They like the idea of it, and they don't realize that it
Yeah.
takes, like a a lot of your own time and effort and money and your blood and sweat and tears and like
I
years to even get something that's even like worth, showing to
well,
people, right?
I,
Um,
I couldn't imagine having like a 9 to 5 and doing what I'm
Mhm.
doing now.
Yep.
This is impossible.
yeah, yeah,
It's impossible. Like
yeah, agreed.
you have to be all in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it took because for a while I was actually working like my full time job while working on the game for like a little, yeah, I think a little over a year. So it was
Your brain's
yeah,
split. Like
it's hard.
where to settle. Like your focus is so split between this, and whilst you're at work, all you're thinking about is like, I want to get back to doing what the fuck I'm
Yeah,
doing.
you're
So
like,
just
what do I need to do? I
Yeah,
have
oh,
to
and
do it.
then I was working from home too, so I'd have my work laptop here doing my work stuff, and
Oh,
I'd have my
yeah,
my
Oh,
regular home
man.
computer screen was right behind my work laptop, and the
yeah.
keyboard was right under it, so I'd be working on my game while trying to do my job too. Like,
100%. I had that as well. All right, man. I think we want to close up here.
So yeah, we're pretty close. We just hit an hour on my end. I don't know if you want to run a little bit longer.
We could go another 10 minutes or so.
We can
I'm
go.
fine
I
with
think
that.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
no need
yeah,
to-
I think that's about how much time my Quest battery has left. So.
Oh yeah, that's probably important.
Yeah, that's very important.
That's important to know.
I don't know, so just like start going like this or something. My Quest died.
just my body breaking with my trackers and shit.
I have to know because you said you were a musician. What do you play, and what do you like?
Let's see. So right now, I've played guitar. I can still play guitar, but it probably not as good as I used to be.
Sure.
Used to play saxophone. Still know a little bit. Still know some harmonica. Played a lot of piano. Now I mostly play on the keyboard, like the MIDI keyboard.
Okay.
I also like produce music. And I also just picked up these things called pocket operators I'm learning how to use, and they're like little MIDI controllers where you like create little beats, and it's pretty cool because I bought like a limited edition Mega Man one and a Street Fighter one, so they actually have sounds from like Mega Man. And
I
Street
think I
Fighter.
know
Dude,
what you're
that's
talking
epic.
about.
Loop.
That's sick. Yeah.
I think I
yeah,
know
I
what
know
you're
what
talking
It's
it's
pretty
about.
cool. They have like a little
Yeah.
screen on it too, and on the Street
Yeah.
Fighter one, it looks like Ryu is fighting like Chun-Li, and like that little animation
Yeah,
depending on
yeah.
what beats you're
They've
like
got like
playing.
a
It's pretty
little.
neat.
It's like a little stylus or something that you can like kind of poke it with, right? Or is it?
Oh well, actually, it kind of looks like a Game Boy, but like if you took it apart and it had like it looks like a calculator if you like cut it in half and took the plastic shell off of it.
I've
Yeah,
seen that
yeah.
before. I don't really see those very often, like anywhere. Honestly, at least I don't.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
saw,
I didn't really know about them until recently. I found about them. Like I'm like, man, that's really cool. And like
I think I saw
I
Blair
bought them,
Renard
got a little
using
something
one on Twitter
special for
a long
myself.
time ago.
Said what, Graham?
Yeah, Blair Renard. I'm pretty sure I saw him using one on Twitter a long time ago.
Oh yeah, he had a actual like drum machine though, like one that you like a big one.
Mm-hmm.
These are like little Little
Oh,
pocket
okay.
ones.
They're like a miniature.
Yeah, these ones they can't. I don't think they could be reprogrammed. They're already like programmed with all the beats and sounds and stuff. But
Gotcha. Yeah.
it's cool because it's like Mega Man and Street Fighter like licensed like sounds that you can
Yeah.
use
That's
in
sick.
your own music and stuff.
Fuck yeah. And what is your music taste like? What is your preference? Is it like one genre, or does it kind of scale across?
Yeah, I listen to just all kinds of stuff. Like
Same.
I
See,
like drum and bass music. I like ska and like rock steady, like reggae. I listen to like rap and like metal,
See,
punk
metal.
music. It's like
Love
all
metal.
kinds of stuff.
when
Yeah.
someone says they listen to anything, I always bring up, okay, what about death metal? And some of the folks be like, nah, and then one of us, yeah. So
I always ask people when they say that, I'm like, who's your favorite like polka artist? Then like, if you listen.
They're like, oh yeah,
And then
so
you're
you're
like-
totally into bluegrass, huh? Okay.
I do actually like some bluegrass on the Grandpa Jones and
All right. So
Louisiana
go.
Hayride.
Let's
we
go.
got some diverse tastes going on over here. Yeah. I'm pretty much the same. Like I can find pretty much anything to jam to. The only thing, my hard line in the sand, and I won't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bull Chase, but pop country, man, I can't fucking.
Me
do
too.
it.
I was saying, 'cause I
cannot
like country
fucking
music,
do
but I don't
pop
like pop
country.
country.
Yeah, pop
Yeah,
country.
old school
Country's so
country, I'm
bad.
fine with some
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, some
Yeah.
Willie Nelson,
Jerry
you know what I mean?
Reed.
Like,
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
sure. But like, you started doing the
Hank
pop country
Williams.
stuff, I
But
just
tractors, cousins,
Tractors,
beer,
my
fucking your
girlfriend left me.
cousins.
All right, let's not go full Sweet Home
Hey, I don't give
Alabama
a
here.
fuck. Y'all motherfuckers. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. That shit.
Don't
That
fuck
shit.
with the
That
nasty.
shit whack. All right. Should we call it then? Right there.
Yeah, you got any?
Yeah. Shout out
Dustin, you got any-
anything. Shout out anything.
Shout out anything. You want to shout out your
Yeah,
social,
so-
your games, where they can, best reach you or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. So my games are available on itch. If you go to tabgames.itch.io, you could buy them on there. If you go to patreon.com/tabgames and join on there, you can get access to all my games, including the little horror one that I mentioned. Which, when I say little, I mean little. Don't expect too much from that. But you can play Vehicular, Rampage, and Samurai Slaughterhouse on there. If you want to follow me at tabgames3 on Twitter, I post on there. You get lots of updates. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to plug.
All right. You can
Thank
find
you guys
all
for
of,
having me on.
all
I
of the
had that
links, all the links in the description for Tab and Tab Games, everything down below. Make sure you go over there, follow him on Twitter. Fucking be a patron. Come on, those fucking games are sick.
support him. He's just one man. Trying
Yeah,
to make his way through a scary world.
those
all
fucking
right?
games are sick as fuck. Do it, play it. You will not be. You won't regret it. All right, you won't regret it. It's so fucking good. I 100% stand by this message. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm fucking saying, bitch? All right. Do it.
But yeah,
Um,
show some love, give
yep.
him some support, follow him where you can, if you
mhm.
can, if you can afford it. Support him on.
It's like
Patreon.
$5, right? Something like the lowest one's $5. Something like that.
He died.
Did he die? I think he died.
Yeah, I think
He might have died. He might have died.
his that may have died. It's
Yeah.
possible he did say that.
I think with that avatar,
Yeah.
with that avatar.
And on that
Should we take the picture with him for the thumbnail? Literally while it's
So if you're on
Alright, guys,
YouTube,
well-
if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, comment with your favorite part, or engage with us there. And man, he's perpetually staring into that camera. He's perpetually staring. If you're on Spotify, hit the download and rate us on there as well as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever. And that's about it. I hope you all have a good day. We hope you have a good day. Thanks for having a good time. We hope you had a good time.
Hey, we're gonna be in Miami. Might see some pictures.
Yay!
Miami,
Yay!
baby.
Miami.
October
All right.
1st through the 3rd. Check it out. Keep an eye on Twitter. Keep an eye on TikTok. We're going to be posting stuff. So if you follow us on our individual platforms, make sure you do it because we're going to be uploading some juicy stuff, including perhaps a podcast.
Ooh, in-person podcast. Let's go.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.
And on that, I'll actually buy this.
Later, guys.
Bye
Love you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.